I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sex.
Toprak Razgatlioglu suddenly demonstrated something that put the Yamaha 850 cubic centimeters project back in the spotlight. It wasn't just about top speed, nor was it just about engine power. This time, the most surprising change was evident when Toprak entered corners. The Yamaha bike, which had previously left many questions, began to display a much more aggressive and easier-to-maneuver character. What made the situation even more interesting was that this change was believed to be related to the new setup Yamaha was testing. As the bike entered the braking zone, Toprak appeared to be able to maintain higher speeds, bring the bike deeper towards the apex, and then change direction more quickly. If this feeling was truly achieved, Yamaha might have just touched on the most important part of their 850 cubic centimeters project. And the question now was no longer, how fast is the Yamaha 850 cubic centimeters on the straight? But rather, how fast can this bike go around corners? Because in MotoGP racing, fractions of a second gained in each corner can translate into significant gains over the course of a lap. What was even more surprising was that this character perfectly suited Toprak's riding style. The Turkish rider is known for his boldness in braking deeply and pushing the bike to its limits when entering corners. If Yamaha finally manages to deliver the front-end stability, engine braking control, and rear-end traction he desires, then Toprak could have the weapon he's been searching for. And this is where the real story begins. What exactly has changed on the Yamaha 850 cubic centimeters? Has Yamaha found a configuration that makes the bike turn faster? Are there changes to the electronics and engine braking? Or is it the chassis balance that finally allows Toprak to attack corners with more confidence? If these changes continue to develop, the next Yamaha 850 cubic centimeters test could be much more interesting. Because this time, Yamaha isn't just looking for a fast bike. They are trying to create a bike that Toprak can truly control. And here's the full news. The MotoGP world is once again intrigued by the latest developments in Yamaha's 850 cubic centimeters engine project. This time, the spotlight isn't just on how much power the new engine can produce, but on a far more significant change for one-lap performance: Toprak Razgatlioglu's speed when entering and exiting corners. Toprak is known as a very aggressive rider when braking. He can bring the bike very deep into corners, then change direction quickly before opening the throttle as early as possible. Because of this characteristic, Yamaha needs a bike that is not only fast on the straights, but also provides confidence when leaning. And recent developments indicate that Yamaha's development direction is starting to shift in that direction. With the 850 cubic centimeters project, Yamaha must build a bike with a different balance. The 850 cubic centimeters engine has a different character than the previous generation engine. Power, torque, engine braking, electronics, chassis, weight distribution, and even tire characteristics must work as a whole. A small change in just one component can change the bike's overall behavior. That's why Toprak's feedback is so important. The Turkish rider isn't just chasing lap times. He also has to provide the engineers with information about what happens when the bike enters the braking zone, how the front end responds when the bike starts to lean, whether the rear wheel remains stable during braking, and how quickly the bike can regain traction exiting the corner. If all of these parameters are right, the impact will be immediately noticeable on the lap times. And this is what makes Toprak's cornering speed such an interesting indicator. Because in modern MotoGP, a lap isn't won solely by top speed. Riders must be able to lose as little time as possible when braking, maintain momentum into the corner, and then regain traction as quickly as possible exiting the corner. Yamaha seems to understand this. Instead of simply chasing increasingly aggressive engines, attention is now being focused on how the rider can use that power effectively. An overly aggressive engine might produce great acceleration, but if the power is difficult to control when the bike is leaning, the rider will actually lose time. For Toprak, this is crucial. He needs a bike that allows him to brake deeply without making the rear end too unstable. He also needs a front end that provides clear information as the bike starts to approach the apex. Once he has that feeling, Toprak can do what has always been one of his strengths: attack corners with extreme aggression. This is where speculation about Yamaha's new setup begins to emerge. It's possible that Yamaha has made a combination of changes to the electronics, engine braking, chassis geometry, weight distribution, and suspension settings to make the bike easier to turn in corners. It's not a single, magical component, but rather a combination of many parameters working together. And changes like this are often not immediately visible to spectators. From the outside, the bikes look almost the same. But to a rider, the difference can be significant. Small changes to the bike's balance can make the rider feel like the front wheel is more attached, the bike is easier to steer towards the apex, and the rear wheel is more controlled under braking. If Toprak can then carry more speed through the corner, these advantages will accumulate over the course of a lap. This is why Yamaha shouldn't just focus on top speed. For example, a bike might lose a little speed on the straights, but be able to gain a few kilometers per hour in some corners, ultimately resulting in faster overall performance. And this characteristic fits Toprak's riding style perfectly. Toprak's extensive experience in world superbikes also makes him highly sensitive to changes in the bike's character. He's accustomed to finding the limits of braking, maximizing corner entry, and utilizing rear traction when exiting corners. Therefore, when Yamaha finds a configuration that makes Toprak feel more confident, that data could be invaluable for the development of future bikes. Moreover, the 850 cubic centimeters project isn't just about developing a regular engine. It's about preparing for a new era in MotoGP. With the new regulations, Yamaha has the opportunity to build a concept bike from scratch. This means the data collected now could be a crucial foundation for determining the direction of Yamaha's next competition bike. And Toprak is in a very interesting position within the project. He's not just a rider, a racer who tests the bike. He also serves as a key source of information on how the bike's character should be shaped to allow for aggressive riding. If Yamaha can find the right balance between the 850 cubic centimeters engine's power, electronics, aerodynamics, chassis, and tires, Toprak could have what he desperately needs: a bike that adapts to his riding style. Imagine a rider like Toprak gaining complete confidence in the front of the bike. He can brake deeper. He can enter corners faster. He can change direction more aggressively. And most importantly, he can open the throttle earlier as the bike exits the apex. These four things can drastically change the character of a single lap. Therefore, if these reports of improved cornering performance continue to be supported by subsequent test data, Yamaha may have discovered the most crucial part of their 850 cubic centimeters project. It's
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.